In a world where people are constantly warned about the dangers of carbohydrates, one nation stands quietly apart. It eats more rice than any other developed country, yet shows the lowest rates of obesity and diabetes. This is not a mystery of genetics or modern medicine but a story of culture, tradition, and balance. It is the story of how Japan has turned everyday meals into a model of metabolic health, built on habits that seem ordinary yet hold profound wisdom. The foundation of this success begins with rice, the very food that many have been told to avoid. While most of the world consumes polished white rice that has been stripped of its nutrient-rich germ, Japanese families often choose rice that still retains it. Some even favor slightly germinated rice, a version that wakes up the grain's hidden potential. This tiny germ is a powerhouse of B vitamins and enzymes that help the body turn carbohydrates into steady, usable energy. It softens the impact on blood sugar and keeps energy levels stable. Though the taste may be less refined and the texture more earthy, this kind of rice nourishes the body instead of burdening it. In Japanese homes, rice is not an empty starch but a living part of a balanced meal that sustains rather than spikes. But the story of Japan's diet does not end in the rice bowl. Alongside it sits another quiet hero, fermented food. From morning until night, almost every meal includes something that has been aged, cultured, or pickled. A spoon of miso soup, a few bites of natto, or some lightly fermented vegetables are common sights on the table. These foods are alive with beneficial bacteria that support gut health. Long before science discovered the microbiome, the Japanese had already built a way of eating that fed both the body and the invisible world within it. Fermentation in Japan has ancient roots. Centuries ago, with limited farmland and few fresh vegetables in winter, people found a way to preserve food while enriching its nutritional value. The practice evolved from early Chinese preservation methods, adapted over time to local tastes and climate. Today, these foods are more than tradition, they are science-backed allies for modern health. The good bacteria they contain help maintain digestion, strengthen immunity, and even regulate blood sugar. In Japan, these benefits are not confined to research papers but are part of daily life, woven into the simple act of eating. Another key lies in how Japan approaches protein. Instead of relying heavily on meat, the diet is built around a balance of both animal and plant sources. Fish and eggs are common, but they share the stage with tofu, soy milk, edamame, nuts, and legumes. These plant-based proteins offer fiber, antioxidants, and compounds that slow digestion, keeping hunger and insulin in harmony. The body receives what it needs without being overloaded. In Japanese supermarkets, the variety of tofu alone shows how deeply this balance is valued. Even vending machines often carry soy milk, a small but telling sign of how accessible healthy options are. This approach does not treat food as a set of restrictions but as a harmony of elements. Just as a building needs both structure and foundation, the body thrives on both animal and plant proteins. This balance supports healthy weight and stable metabolism. It also reflects a broader understanding that wellness is not about extremes but about equilibrium. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of Japanese eating is the way meals are served. Instead of one large plate piled high, there are many small bowls, each with its own color, flavor, and texture. This simple presentation changes the rhythm of eating. Smaller portions encourage the mind to slow down and notice each bite. They reduce overeating without any sense of deprivation. Eating becomes an experience rather than a task. Equally important is the seasonal rhythm of food. The Japanese idea of shun means eating ingredients at their natural peak. It is a form of respect for time and nature. In spring, people enjoy tender bamboo shoots. In summer, they turn to cooling vegetables like eggplant and cucumber. Autumn brings mushrooms and root crops rich in earthy flavors, while winter celebrates warming dishes with daikon and miso. This pattern of eating ensures maximum freshness and nutrient density while keeping the body in sync with the environment. This philosophy has echoes in traditional Chinese medicine, which teaches that health depends on living in balance with the seasons. The body's needs change with temperature and light, and food can help maintain that inner balance. Japan has preserved this wisdom not as an old belief but as a living habit. By following nature's rhythm, it allows both body and environment to work together rather than against each other. What makes Japan's approach remarkable is that it requires no complicated diets, no counting, and no special products. It thrives on ordinary foods, prepared with care and consumed with awareness. Each element, whole grain rice, fermented sides, plant protein, and seasonal variety, works together to protect the body's internal stability. The result is a population that, despite a love for rice, maintains better metabolic health than many who have abandoned it. This model offers a gentle lesson to a world searching for answers in endless diet trends. True wellness may not come from removing food groups or following strict rules but from returning to simple, time-tested principles. A small bowl of rice with its germ intact, a cup of miso soup, a portion of tofu or beans, and a mindful connection to what nature offers in each season. These are habits that anyone can adopt, regardless of culture or location. Japan's example reminds us that the path to health is not hidden in laboratories or fitness apps. It is already on our plates, waiting to be remembered. The wisdom of balance, patience, and respect for food has been part of human tradition for thousands of years. Modern life, with its rush and convenience, has simply drowned out that quiet voice. Yet that voice still speaks through the Japanese table, where every meal reflects a conversation between body, earth, and time. It tells us that health is not built in a day or through a single superfood. It grows slowly, meal after meal, through choices guided by awareness rather than fear. Japan's story is not one of perfection but of persistence, an example of how ordinary food, prepared in thoughtful ways, can lead to extraordinary health. As people around the world struggle with rising rates of obesity, diabetes, and lifestyle diseases, perhaps the answer is not to invent something new but to rediscover what once came naturally. To eat grains that still have life in them. To let microbes do their quiet work through fermentation. To balance proteins from both land and plant. To follow the seasons and listen to what the body needs at each turn. This is the forgotten wisdom that Japan has quietly kept alive. It is a wisdom that does not divide food into good and bad but understands that health is a harmony of many parts. It reminds us that food is not the enemy of well-being but its foundation. And in that reminder lies a hope that the world, too, can learn to eat not just for survival, but for balance, vitality, and peace. So in the end, Japan teaches us something powerful. Health is not about strict diets or cutting out the foods we love. It is about balance, awareness, and respect for what nature gives. When we eat simply, with gratitude and rhythm, the body responds with strength and calm. Maybe the secret to long life and steady energy has been on the table all along, quietly waiting for us to slow down, take a breath, and taste it again.